In the United States, more than 2,000 books were targeted to be banned in 2024, according to a post from Rockford Public Library. Several librarians and book lovers advocate against those bans.
WIFR reporter Bria Walters talks to those advocates about banning books, how it silences different stories.
If it's something that you're not interested in, you don't have to read it.
Dave Peterson, Maze Books owner, says book bans take away access to affordable titles and education about different communities. In Peterson's words, banning books is censorship.
Without access to those books, we cannot change our ideas.
Books can be pulled for several reasons, including topics of violence, controversial themes, and political or religious pressure.
It's all subjective. Anyone can basically challenge a book through their local library or through their school.
Should they be in our library for anyone of any age to check out? That is something that a reasonable minds should look at.
Sarah Stumpf, a librarian at Rockford Public Library, says books shouldn't be banned, but schools and libraries should filter the titles offered to protect more vulnerable readers.
Things that have horror or murder or violence or sexual content, those are for adults. They're in the adult section.
Kevin Rylott believes controversial topics in books should be removed.
Books that challenge us are a great views to society, but you can go too far in books that do harm.
One of Stumpf's coworkers, Doug Janicki, says he understands the reasons for bans, but the books become a part of important culture.
It always depends on the times, and times change. So what once was forbidden becomes much more tolerated.
In Rockford, Bria Walters, WIFR News.
A collection of these banned books are on display at the Rockford Public Library until October 11th. The library and Maze Books will host several events to educate on banned books. For more information, visit our website, WIFR.com.